$30 million towards the state's Illinois college program to pay for existing contracts. Get the latest in local news anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. 26 minutes ahead of the hour here on this Thursday morning, 28 degrees. It feels like 17 degrees outside.
Local information that makes a difference. Here's your regional weather.
Today, cloudy skies, temperatures in the mid-30s, winds from the west at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, a chance of rain and snow, otherwise cloudy and breezy. Temperatures increasing into the upper 30s, south winds at 15 to 20 miles an hour. Wind gusts tonight around 30 miles an hour. A 50% chance of rain on Friday, cloudy otherwise, with highs in the mid-40s. A west-southwest wind at 15 to 25 miles an hour. Cloudy Friday night, lows around 16 degrees. Saturday, partly sunny with a high in the mid-20s. And Sunday, partly sunny with a high in the mid-20s. Across central Illinois, as we roll through this Thursday morning, it's 28 in Bloomington, 29 in Hayworth, 29 in Leroy, 30 in Farmer City, 30 in Champaign and Monticello. It's 31 in Decatur and Mount Pulaski, 29 degrees in Lincoln, Springfield at 34, 29 in Peoria, 28 cloudy in Clinton. It feels like 17 degrees outside. West winds at 15 miles an hour, 85% humidity, and 10 miles of visibility on this Thursday morning. Get the latest in local weather at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton CEO Paul Skowron reminding you our walk-in clinic inside our family medicine building will treat your flu symptoms without an appointment. Find out more by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
ServPro of Piatt DeWitt Counties can make your emergency or disaster like it never even happened. Find out all the services ServPro of Piatt DeWitt Counties provides by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Shop local first.
The economic health of our community rests with each of us, with our own pocketbooks. Economists tell us that the dollar spent at a local store is spent multiple times before it leaves our local area. From $1, you create $5 to $14 in value within the local area. The Miller Media Group and this local business encourage you to shop local first. First National Bank and Trust in Clinton. Do more with your money at First National Bank and Trust, member FDIC. This local business and the Miller Media Group ask you to shop local first.
Shop local first.
DeWitt County's #1 source for local news is on the air and online 24 hours a day. The latest local news stories are heard every hour on Central Illinois' news station, the Big 1520 AM and 92.3 FM WHOW. Stream live at DeWittDailyNews.com. They're also heard every hour on the station that's your easy choice, 95.9 FM WEZC. And to read the latest local news on your electronic device, including tablets, iPhones, and smartphones, go to DeWittDailyNews.com. DeWitt County's #1 source for local news is on the air, online 24 hours a day.
Today's morning show can be heard by downloading the free WHOW mobile app in your favorite store.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams live to Facebook Live and our YouTube channel, WHOW TV, and it's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on this segment of the WHOW Morning Show is Dr. Vic Zimmerman, Superintendent of Monticello Schools. Good morning, Dr. Zimmerman. How are you today?
We're great, Seth. Good to talk to you.
For sure. I was thinking about our interview this morning, Dr. Zimmerman. I'm going to start off on a different note this morning other than COVID and serious stuff. So I was thinking about this. Monticello has won a state championship in the last 5 years. You've sent a basketball team to the state tournament in the last, 6 or 7. Your girls basketball team always wins around 15, 20 games, sometimes more. There's baseball, always really, really good. Coach Jones does a good job with those kids. What is Monticello? Is Monticello a football school? Is it a basketball school? Is it a baseball school? What is Monticello?
We're an academic institution. I think that I've worked in several schools just around the Champaign area, and everybody does things differently. I think the thing that makes Monticello unique is we really try to emphasize to our kids to get involved in as many things as possible. And I know everybody says that, but our kids really do. I mean, it's not just sports that they're involved in. Our drama department is just awesome. We did Mamma Mia a couple of years ago. We're doing Grease this year, and I'm sure it'll be sold out. Our marching band is just top notch all the way around. Our
Right,
chorus,
yeah.
our ag department, all of our. I think we really strive to do the best for all of our kids to the greatest extent possible. So, a lot of people are fans of sports. And that I am. We're just fans of the Sages, regardless of what activity they're participating in.
I feel like that was like a superintendent answer, like that. That wasn't like a Sages fan answer. That was a superintendent answer right there. So, but it was a good one. Well said. Well said. Dr. Zimmerman, let's dive into some serious things this morning. And Monticello schools late in the afternoon yesterday, I think it came out that you would be shifting your policy regarding masking in schools. Take me back to I'll tell you what. Tell us about what the change is, what's going on here, and we'll dive in from there. What's going on?
So we are starting today. Masks recommended in school, and unvaccinated employees who prior to today were required to test weekly. We're still offering that, but not requiring it. And then close contacts of positive cases will not be required to be excluded from school.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll still, anybody that's obviously COVID positive, we'll need to stay home.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll see how long that lasts. I mean,
right.
we're all kind of, stuck in the middle right here while we're waiting things to happen statewide. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of stakeholders to consider in this process. Before Friday, that ruling comes out late, and I had your colleague, Dr. Sheila Greenwood, at BIM in Schools on yesterday, and she was kind of bemoaning the fact that so much of this stuff comes out late on a Friday, and it just throws your entire weekend into a tailspin. But talk to me a little bit about your reaction to last Friday, where you turned for communication, who you talked to, and as the weekend progressed, where those conversations took you in regards to a decision for Monticello schools.
Yeah, so superintendents know that we don't have 9-to-5 jobs. So unfortunately, over the past couple of years, it does seem like a lot of the guidance changes and things like that do come out late on Fridays, which is, we've kind of come to expect it and kind of, behind the scenes kind of joke about the fact that that's how it plays out. But, we're really never off duty. So that's just part of the deal. So, so the guidance or the TRO comes out and gets sent out to everybody. And we start reading through it, talking to other superintendents, talking to school attorneys, sitting in on school attorney webinars to hear the different perspectives around the state of Illinois, talk to our school board members to kind of see, what their thoughts are. So ultimately our decision was to stay the status quo, continuing to require masking for everybody and follow all the mandated COVID mitigations.
Mm-hmm.
Because the judge's TRO, it's a temporary restraining order, so it's not like a final decision. It's not, it's not set in stone. Plus, it's been appealed. So, my thought was that the best course of action for Monticello schools was to maintain the current status of masking, et cetera, until such time that we do hear the result of the appeal. Because what I wanted to try to avoid was confusion of, okay, we're required to do these things now. now we're going to take them off for a while because we aren't required to do them based on some of the language in the judge's TRO. And then, if it gets appealed, we could have to go back to the mandates. And then if it gets sent to the Supreme Court, then we potentially could have to make a decision to take them off for a while. So, I really wanted to avoid, the confusion of the back and forth in regard to the mandate. So,
right.
Over the course of Monday and Tuesday, we kind of saw how that went. And, the thing about I think most superintendents will tell you, but, I'm the superintendent at Monticello. So I say, Monticello kids, if we told them, they had to wear their shirts inside out, and that's what our decision was, and the principal said, this is what we're doing, our kids would do it because, they respect decisions that are made. Their parents have brought them up right. They may not agree with the decisions all the time, but they're for the most part they're good behaving kids and respectful and want to do the right thing. And at the end of the day, in regard to just COVID, our kids just want to be in school. So whether they had to wear a mask or not for 99% of them, it wasn't a big deal for them. They were just happy to be in school and be with their friends.
Yeah. It's real interesting how the language in that TRO was interpreted differently across the board, and then obviously I think if I may summarize, you kind of read the language in the way that some of your peers did here locally, that okay, yeah, we could take the masks off the kids, but who's to say we're not going to have to put them back on anytime soon? Is that kind of a fair assessment, recap of kind of the thinking on your part?
Yeah, exactly.
So what's Dr. Zimmerman, you probably put out guidance Sunday evening that Sunday at some point, maybe sooner, that you're going to stick with the mandate and those sorts of things. I venture a guess that probably wasn't a very popular decision. Talk to me about what you heard and where you heard it from.
So I got a lot of emails. Parents sent a lot of emails to me and some school board members, and there was actually a majority of emails were in support of any decision that the district makes. Our parents understand that schools have been put in the middle here with this recent TRO, and I'm not, I could go on for a while talking about the way the judge wrote the ruling, but I actually got more emails from parents who were just, supportive, and they understand it's tough times and they'll do whatever the school expects them to do. Of course, there were some emails who were like, you should definitely drop the mitigations, give everybody the opportunity to make their own decisions, and those types of things. So over the course of the several days and the way things played out, I observed more and more school districts who had started the same as us with status quo, changing to recommended masking. So superintendents talk a lot. So we talked about what was going on in their districts and those types of things. And there's a lot of uprisings going on in some districts around, parents protesting outside of the schools and those types of things. And I have to say that I'm very proud of our Monticello parents that we didn't see that. Yeah, we got some emails and some social media posts, but I think for the most part our parents are try to stay above the fold on that stuff, and I really didn't expect that those things would happen here, and they didn't. But the more and more I watched other school districts dropping this, I started really thinking about our kids, and at the end of the day, it needs to be about our kids. And I just thought it was time because we were enabled by the TRO. I felt it was time to allow our kids to make their own decisions, at least for a while, in regard to whether or not they they were going to wear a mask.
Was that the only thing that changed for you in that time?
Yeah.
Was just kind of a change of heart?
Nothing changed from Friday to, Tuesday. There was no legal changes. I mean, the school attorneys right out of the gate were like, well, school districts are caught in the middle. The school districts that were named in the lawsuits, I mean, they really didn't have a lot of options to consider. But the non-named school districts who were called out in the ruling in a footnote indicating that the judge finds that the governor's mandates were above and beyond what he was able to do, and suggested that schools can make their own local control decisions, allowed us to, make the decision to go mask optional, at least for a while.
Right. Interesting stuff. Well, anything else on the last week, Dr. Zimmerman? I'm sure it's been a busy weekend for you, and a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, a lot of text messages, all those things. Anything on the last week or so that I haven't touched on with you this morning you want to put out there for us?
Well, in our messaging to our parents, I mean, we know that obviously, regardless of what direction a school district goes, not everybody's gonna agree. And I actually took a phone call from a parent this morning whose student was afraid to come to school because they wanted to wear a mask, and they were concerned that they might be bullied or picked on or looked at differently by other students in the school. And I assured her that I certainly didn't think that would take place. I mean, we're not, Monticello is not immune to those types of things, but I think that our kids have shown over time that they're respectful of others and respectful of others' decisions. And we talked about this administratively yesterday, that our principals and assistant principals need to be out and about, and they need to talk to their teachers and faculty and staff about just making sure that all of our kids are taken care of to the greatest extent possible. So I'm confident that our kids will be fine.
Very good. Well, Dr. Zimmerman, let's take a time out here. Come back with some more. Dr. Vic Zimmerman, Superintendent of Monticello Schools, my guest on the phone here for this morning. And the WHOW Morning Show, by the way, streams live to Facebook Live and YouTube by searching those out. And it's all brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. More to come again with Dr. Vic Zimmerman, Superintendent of Monticello Schools, on the WHOW Morning Show.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Thursday. I'm Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network. Corn higher, beans double-digit higher, wheat starting today higher. March corn 653.5 up 6 3/4. May corn up 6 1/4, 652 1/4. December corn 594 1/4 up 5 3/4. March beans starting today up 29 3/4, 1624.5. May beans 1626.5 up 31. And November beans, 1464.5, up 27 to start the day. March wheat, 791, up 6. May wheat, up 6, 797. And July wheat, 792 1/4, up 6 1/4. March bean meal opening, 472.10. That's up 10.20. March bean oil, 65.09, up 99 cents. That's a look at the opening numbers at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Thursday morning. I'm Jim Taylor for the RFD Radio Network.
New trucks and SUVs are coming here at Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton. This is Scott Baum. Yes, we have new inventory arriving, and you can see what will arrive right on our website. Just click on the pre-order and reserve tab. From there, you will find vehicles in transit and vehicles in production. Or just call our sales staff and we'll help. Find Silverados, Equinoxes, Blazers, including Tahoes and Suburbans, as well as our complete Buick line of SUVs. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
Here's a supply chain update from Dave Jackson, owner of your Clinton Save-A-Lot. As a local store owner, I've learned many lessons from the last 2 years, from keeping my shelves stocked for you to selecting the freshest meat and produce and other items you buy every day. I want you to know that we've utilized our off-site storage facilities to beef up our inventory levels to avoid running out of items you buy. While there's no playbook for what we've all experienced, you have my personal commitment to keep our shelves stocked every day. Your Clinton Save-A-Lot appreciates your business, and we hope to see you soon.
Tell Amazon Alexa, play WHOW Radio to hear the morning show and all our programming right there on your Amazon Echo.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence, and on the phone with me, Dr. Vic Zimmerman, Superintendent of Monticello Schools. The WHOW morning show streams live to Facebook Live and YouTube. You can search out our YouTube channel, WHOW TV, and it's all brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Dr. Zimmerman, I know that over the last several months, we have caught up about all the changes that are coming to the Monticello School District. Next year, new superintendent, new high school principal, and I'm going to botch the other two. So I know there's more administrative searches at the lower levels. I think Whiteheath School might need a new principal. So how about the administrative searches? What's the update there?
Yeah, so a lot of changes next year, as you mentioned. Mr. Clapp, who's our current high school principal, will be the superintendent. So we're in the process of doing interviews to, fill his position as high school principal. And then once we're done with that one, we'll go forward with our Whiteheath 4th and 5th grade principal, Nancy Rosenberry. She's retiring after this year. So we'll work on that one. And then Washington School, which is pre-K to 3, our assistant principal and pre-K director, Mary Vogt, will be the new superintendent at Bement. So we'll fill those two positions. And then special ed administrator. So we're in the Macon Pyatt Special Ed Co-op, and we've always been assigned a special ed administrator through the co-op. But we decided that we're going to hire our own special ed administrator for Monticello.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to continue to remain in the co-op and access the services. But, in looking at, several variables, we thought that it was time for us to hire our own special ed administrator that, is one of our employees.
So what will that mean? Will that mean more like hands-on type of things for that individual in that program? And what will kind of be their responsibilities in that role?
Yeah, so the special ed administrator just oversees the implementation of IEP plans for students. Attends IEP meetings, does professional development for special ed teachers, and we've also seen over the years an increase in the number of 504 plans for students. And right now those are currently administered by our principals. So this new special ed administrator will be over special ed and also handle the 504 administration for students in the district.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Very good. So how about the other searches going on right now? What are some of the updates with those?
Yeah, so we're just continuing to collect resumes and applications for those administrative positions. They all the application deadlines are actually a week from today, so the 17th, and then we'll start off on setting up interviews for those positions. And then once that is complete, we also have a lot of teaching positions posted. We have 3 special ed teachers at the high school that are all retiring at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to fill those positions. Also, we're adding a special ed teacher out at Whiteheath to assist with 4th and 5th grade kids. We've got an elementary art position, a 4th to 8th grade librarian media specialist position. And then right now we also have another 4th grade teacher opening because one of our 4th grade teachers is going to retire. So it's only not quite mid-February. And so we, as always, we expect to have probably a few more openings between now and the start of school next year.
Very good. Well, Dr. Zimmerman, as I look at the clock, a few minutes left yet still here with you. Any other hirings or any other openings you want to make mention of this morning that we haven't touched on?
Yeah, got them all in there. So for now, we're all up to date.
Very good. As we wrap up here this morning, Dr. Zimmerman, I know we were catching up before we got started. Boys basketball having a tremendous season. I saw they're still number 8 in the state rankings, 24-3. A big win at Pontiac on Tuesday night. Thrilling win at Pontiac. That was a whale of a ball game. A lot of fun to watch and be a part of.
Yeah, our we love watching all of our teams. So our boys team has had a lot of success. They're a lot of fun to watch. They really don't have individual stars. They play so well together. They play great defense. I've said to Coach Roy a couple times this year, and I've been able to watch him and his teams play over the course of 15 years. This is Kevin Roy basketball. So slow the game down, play good defense, a lot of passes. I would guess that maybe half of our buckets for the boys team are really layups because they just pass it around so much. And, it's just hard for high school teams to play defense. And then, the kid ends up right underneath the hoop and makes it. So our girls team is having some success after a couple of tough years. What I love to see there is, our girls just seem to have a great time and have fun on the court. We've got some wrestlers that qualified for sectional this year. And then tonight, our 7th grade boys basketball are playing for the state championship.
That's right.
Up at Fieldcrest. So it's exciting times for sure.
Well, I am certainly remiss we didn't get to talk more about that. Dr. Vic Zimmerman, Superintendent of Monticello Schools, my guest. Network News is now.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, 92.3 FM.